Okay, so I'm a huge fan of the Hunger Games. And let me just tell you, the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, the new prequel about President Snow, is one of the best in the franchise. It's one of the best in the whole series. I read the book a couple of months ago, really loved it, but the movie, the movie was so good. I'm actually really happy, and it could possibly be one of my favorite. It's this and Catching Fire that are at up top for me. I really enjoyed this movie. I loved this whole like grand epic story about the fall of President Snow, how he became kind of the man we see in Hunger Games films. So I loved it right from the start when you started to hear some of the music that I recognized from like the original movies. I just knew I felt like I was back in the Panem from those films, and right from there I was sold on this movie. I was into it. I was loving it. I really love how the story progresses. It's a very different structure from the other films, and I quite like that. It worked for me. For some people, it won't. It'll feel disjointed, and like the stuff at the end maybe is tacked on. But if you look at it from the point of view of Snow's character journey, it makes sense why all of this is in it. And I won't say anything more, but the film adapted the book so well. It might be one of the best adaptations of the whole series. I thought it made the book it just really made some parts of the book flourish so much more than they did in the novel. And it just really worked for me. I loved the casting. Tom Blythe, Rachel Zegler, they were amazing in their roles as Snow and Lucy Gray. And like their chemistry was so good, but I really loved how they portrayed these characters. They're all automatically like, I know like Snow we know is the villain, but even then I was at the start of the movie I was really invested in his story, caring about him. Lucy Gray, you meet her in the film, and I was really invested in her story in just one film. Have become as iconic characters as Katniss and Peeta and Haymitch and Effie. It's so good. I was so happy. I loved the music in it. Really loved they brought back so many of the people who worked on the original movies, including the director, some writers, composers. Um, it was just like it was returning to a world that I haven't seen for a while, and was just such a great prequel. It's emotional, it's tense, it's thrilling. Got some good action in the Hunger Games sequences. Um, yeah, you definitely haven't seen this in this franchise before, and it's quite the fun ride. I really enjoyed this movie. Think it's very well done. If you loved this franchise or love any of the movies in it, I think you got to give this one a chance. It's a really, really great time, and if you've read the book, you'll love this. You'll love this. It's a perfect adaptation.